Welcome to Strategic Insights, guidance for life's most important decisions with attorney Alan Eighmey.
Hey all, welcome in to an all-new episode of Strategic Insights, guidance for life's most important decisions with estate planning attorney Alan Eighmey. I am your host, Mike Leon. You know, Alan is the managing attorney over at Strategic Law Group, where he's been helping California families create thoughtful, protective plans for every stage of life. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to leave money or support to a loved one with special needs without putting their government benefits at risk. Alan, it's good to see you as always. Let me ask you here at the onset of this, what are some of the risks that families face that could be listening to this if they leave money directly to a child or sibling with special needs?
Yeah, so if they leave money directly to a child with special needs, they can risk them losing their benefits, which includes, not only the financial support of SSI, but, any possible medical benefits. There's also a chance that the money could be used in a way that, the parents don't want it to be, or the loved ones doesn't want it to be, where they could be taken advantage of, and those kinds of things. And then, save the special needs individual from, maybe making poor decisions and with their money in a way that would leave them, in a worse situation than they were. So there's lots of different things that you have to do when you're talking about protecting a child with special needs.
Yeah. Can we expand a little bit more on what you were mentioning before? So, why can receiving an inheritance actually cause someone to lose those benefits, like you mentioned, SSI, or in California, Medi-Cal?
Right. So SSI and Medi-Cal are what we call needs-based benefits. And so in order to qualify to get those, you have to have limited resources, basically. And if the government feels that your resources are too great, and that you can take care of yourself, right, then they're not going to help you out at all. And like I said, SSI, the payments on that are, 900, plus you get in California extra couple $100 stipend, so it's 11 a month, and that's not a lot of money, but it's some. But the big thing is the medical, and as we all know, medical costs aren't getting any cheaper. And a person with special needs can have high medical costs, and no matter the amount of money that you leave them, it could be depleted quickly through through a medical emergency or even just normal regular medical care.
Yeah. Alan, can we explain to folks what a special needs trust is and how it protects both the person and their eligibility for these public benefits, like you mentioned?
Yeah, so a special needs trust is set up, and it's like its own entity. So instead of leaving the money directly to the person with special needs, you leave it to this entity, and it's like any other little entity. It's like its own little company, is what I like to tell my clients. And so because the money doesn't go directly to the person with special needs, it doesn't count as an asset for them. And therefore, they can continue to get the benefits. And under the rules for SSI, the money that's in this trust can be used to supplement, is the language that they use, but not supplant their basic needs. So, which can be kind of a little bit of a sword's edge walk, if you say, but if you have a good trustee and somebody you can keep them guided in the right direction, that money can be used to help them in their daily life and supplement the money that the government pays to help take care of them. So.
Are there different types of special needs trust then? And if there are, how do families decide which one?
Yeah, so the biggest difference on the special needs trust is there's what we call a first party special needs trust, and then there's third party special needs trust. And a first party special needs trust is one where really there's been no pre planning. So, for example, if a parent dies and leaves money to a child with special needs, the court can allow that child or their agent to set up a special needs trust. That money would go in there. It operate, to supplement and not supplant the benefits that they get. But the biggest thing at the end is when that special needs person passes away, that money whatever money is spent by the state for their medical care and all of that gets reimbursed to the state. So really, there's any money that's left over doesn't go to any residual heirs. Mm-hmm. With pre-planning, you could set up what we call a third-party special needs trust, and that special needs trust, again, the rules are kind of the same as far as what you pay out, but you at the end, when the special needs person passes away, you can pick what that residual money may go to other heirs or other children and those kinds of things, so that continue to help the family, and that legacy that way. So,
yeah. Alan, these trusts, they can be used to pay for like everyday things, housing, education, transportation, or is that violating some of the benefit rules?
Yeah, so that goes back to where I say, you can supplement, but you can't supplant. So the money that you get from the government is supposed to pay for your basic needs. So your food, your utilities, your housing, those kinds of things, and then the money in the special needs trust is to supplement that. So, and it's really kind of a weird situation where you really need to talk to professionals. But like, for example, the money can be used in a special needs trust can be used to pay for, like cable TV or satellite TV or internet, but it can't be used to pay for electricity, because electricity they consider as a necessity of life, the money in a special needs trust can be used to pay for, dining out, but you can't go to the grocery store and buy a hamburger to make it home, So it's really kind of a tightrope that they make people work. There's ways that you can get around it, and if you talk to a special needs attorney, they can help you with those kinds of plans by using ABLE accounts and other things. But it's really kind of important to be, when you're doing, and especially talking about special needs trust, that you're working with a professional with those.
Speaking of ways to get around it, have you seen maybe where families just left it to like a trusted relative, leave the money with them instead? Is that a good idea?
I've seen it, and no, it's not really a great idea. And you have a couple issues. First, no matter how trusted that trusted individual is, things can happen, and so there's no real kind of oversight with that. You also can be, causing some possible tax issues for that person. But the big thing too is what happens if something happens to that person, right? The person you left the money to take care of your loved one is, doing everything right. But, if something happens to them, you don't have any control over where that money or those assets go that are supposed to take care of your loved one after that. So planning with a special needs trust is always the best way to do that.
Yeah. So let's talk about that then. So what role do the trustees and the care providers play, and how do you kind of make sure that they all follow the plan?
Yeah, and so that that's the big thing. Parents and caregivers of people with special needs, they're amazing people. They provide caregiving, they provide love, and they advocate for their loved ones and stuff. And that takes that's a lot of work and effort and energy to do. So you as a parent or a loved one of a special needs person, it's important that when you do the planning, you pick people that are going to be able to kind of carry on those responsibilities the way that you want them to, number one. But you also can have a trustee, and the trustee can manage the money and those kinds of things, and allow the caregiver to just concentrate on the care, and then there's also oversight there. And a lot of my special needs trusts, we put in what we call a trust protector, who just can kind of review and watch over everything as well, just to make sure that there's kind of a third party person just reviewing and making sure that all of the things are getting done. So it's just all kind of part of a comprehensive plan that really can get set up to help a family that has a child with special needs, or a loved one who wants to help a person with special needs. So.
Yeah. Well, Alan, as we put a bow on today's episode, for that parent or caregiver that could be listening to us right now, what's the first step that they should take to make sure all of this is in order and get this right?
Yeah, so what you want to do is, California, we have what's called regional centers that really help families with individuals with special needs. They provide individual program plans for those individuals, and then meet with them, help get that plan together, and meet with an attorney who's knowledgeable in special needs planning. Because it really is kind of a niche thing that not every estate planning attorney or works with, and work with them on that plan and what you want to see happen with your loved one. And nowadays, with the funding cuts to programs with special needs and those kinds of things, it's getting more and more important that you really kind of get that planning together.
Yeah. Very well said. Alan, thank you for the time and the insights and explaining all this to us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks, Mike. And it's great always talking with you.
And thank you to everyone out there for joining us on this installment of Strategic Insights. If someone you love has special needs, don't leave their future to chance. Do me a favor right now. Visit strategic-law.com to connect with Alan and the team and build a plan that protects their benefits, their independence, and especially your peace of mind. Before you go, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. As always, I'm Mike Leon. We will see everybody next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.